The battle for Bengal, which sends 42 seats to the Lok Sabha, is turning out to be an exciting one. While Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress is the dominant player by far in the state, the BJP is believed to be posing a tough challenge. Narendra Modi's rallies in the state are an indication of how seriously the BJP is taking the fight in the state. Today was also an interesting day where both Modi and Mamata were speaking in West Bengal and didn't lose an opportunity to take pot shots at each other. Let's listen in first to excerpts from their speeches.
पश्चिम बंगाल में एक स्पीड ब्रेकर है, स्पीड ब्रेकर। इस स्पीड ब्रेकर को यहां के लोग दीदी के नाम से जानते हैं। ये दीदी आपके विकास की स्पीड ब्रेकर है।
हरदिन जेने भय भय मिथ्যে বলছেন, একটা প্রধানমন্ত্রীর মুখে মিথ্যে কথা শোভা পায় না। আপনাকে আমি চ্যালেঞ্জ করে বলি, আমাদের গভর্নমেন্ট 100 দিনের কাজে আমরা নাম্বার 1। Yes, expired Prime Minister, I challenge you.
So it's going to be a big fight in Bengal, but has the pitch become skewed with no alliances in place among the TMC or the CPIM as well as the Congress? And is Mamata Banerjee projecting herself as a national leader in campaigns? To speak more on this, I'm joined today by Maidul Islam, who's Assistant Professor of Political Science at the Center for Studies in Social Sciences in Calcutta. Devdeep Purohit, Chief of Bureau Politics and Policies at the Telegraph, is also joining us on the show from Siliguri. In fact, attended one of the rallies by Prime Minister Modi today, which is why, Devdeep, let me start by asking you, what you saw on the ground. We've been seeing on social media here about, pictures of that rally and rallies there, very well attended, packed, areas. What was the scene on the ground?
The reports that you have got is right. Social media is full of those pictures of a lot of people turning up at the rally. And it was expected also, because BJP as a political party is slightly more organized and they have a bigger support base if in the northern side of the state, which is we call North Bengal. So it is expected because, BJP has been there for some time because they have been winning this Darjeeling seat on last 2 occasions. So their organization is slightly better. So that's why they could get so many people. On the ground, yes, there was huge expectation. My take on this is everything was meticulously planned, that we will get this number of people from these places. Modi's speech was also very meticulously planned. He spoke on some local issues. He spoke on national issues. He tried to woo the Gorkha communities of the Darjeeling Hills. He tried to woo the, Rajbangshi community from the plains. So everything was sort of scripted. And I think Modi had every reason to be happy after, after addressing a crowd like this. But having said that, I think, there was, Mamata Banerjee was also in North Bengal, around 150 kilometers away from where Modi was speaking. I think she also had everything planned out in a nice manner. So the venue was decided strategically. Her content of her speech was pre-planned because she knew what Modi is going to say. So probably she also ended her day with a sense of satisfaction that mission accomplished on both sides.
Yeah, I know, and of course, both of them are fiery speakers, which is why you get interesting quotes from their rallies. They have taken pot shots at each other, which is why I want to come to the larger issue, Mr. Islam, and let me come to you about how you see this election play out. Now, most opinion polls are saying that, the TMC will get a decent amount of seats, maybe 30 odd seats at the higher end, between 25 to 30 seats. They're being generous to the BJP to the extent where at the upper limit, they might get 8 to 9 seats. Remember, they opened their account in 2014 with 2 seats. Do you think that's the kind of picture playing out? And is the TMC perceiving the BJP as its #1 threat in the state, much more than the left or the Congress, of course?
Yeah, actually, the TMC is perceiving the BJP as the major opposition, and this has been the case after 2016 assembly elections. Particularly after the 2016 assembly elections, there were several by-polls where the BJP was emerging as a second party after Trinamool. And there has been a steady decline of the left and the Congress votes and the increase of the BJP votes. Now, BJP certainly gets more votes in the Lok Sabha than the assembly elections. One could think about 2014 Lok Sabha elections where they just polled a little over 17%. But in the assembly elections, they got something a little over 10%, which means that there was a 7% decrease of votes. If you compare with the 2009 and 2011, also 2009 Lok Sabha, they got a little over 6%, whereas in 2011 Assembly, they got a little over 4%. So it means that they actually polled more votes in the Lok Sabha than in the Assembly. Now, this is a Lok Sabha, so it means that BJP, given the past trends, BJP is going to get more votes than the last 2016 assembly elections. Now, one thing, as Devdeep was correctly pointing out, that the BJP is relatively stronger in North Bengal than in South Bengal, although in certain pockets of South Bengal, particularly in the western part of the South Bengal, which is bordering Orissa, Jharkhand, particularly the three districts of West Midnapur, Purulia, and Bankura, they relatively did well in the panchayat elections. Remember, the panchayat elections were marred by violence. So there are also a few pockets in the western part of South Bengal where the BJP aims to do well. As far as the opinion polls are concerned, personally, I don't take the opinion polls very seriously because there are a lot of issues in terms of methodology. India is a quite diverse country, and there are a lot of variables, so it's difficult to actually gauge the opinion polls. Post-poll survey is relatively tend to be more correct than the opinion polls. At this moment, certainly the Trinamool is going to, my own hunch is the Trinamool might actually be sticking to 34, 35 seats, which they got in 2014 Lok Sabha elections. And I would be very surprised if BJP gets more than 5 to 6 seats.
Okay, which will also still be a steady increase. The BJP is steadily making inroads into West Bengal.
Yes, absolutely.
Devdeep, you agree with that? Yeah, I just wanted to also ask, Devdeep, what you make of the current situation. A lot has been made of the fact that, the Congress and the left didn't tie up in the state. The Congress wants to go it alone, and it's a blow to the larger picture of opposition unity. In the context of the 42 seats in Bengal, how do you think it works out?
Yeah, so there are two parts to your question. So the first part, what I think about the outcome. I mean, still we are, the last poll in Bengal will be on 19th of May, and we are on 3rd of April. So there is still some time, but as situation remains now, as we call in economics, ceteris paribus, I tend to agree with what Moidul was telling you, it is, when you were asking Moidul, then you said that whether Mamata Banerjee will get somewhere around 30 or something, you said that. But if something like that is the outcome, then I must tell you, Mamata Banerjee will be extremely sad, because her expectation is much more. She has been saying in all the rallies that we won 42 out of 42, but these are like corporate sector targets, which are set only by knowing fully well that they can't be met. But anything less than 36 would be a blow to her. So that is clear. The second part of your question was on this left and Congress alliance. Now, I think Moidul will also agree that the left and the Congress alliance, had it taken place, then its impact on West Bengal politics would have been limited to the vote share. How much left and Congress together they would have got. Over the last 2-3 years, the thing that has happened in West Bengal is that the fight in the state is between the Trinamool and the BJP. BJP has emerged as the main opposition party in the state, and the fight is between them. Out of 42 seats, there are one or two seats. I mean, one seat is there where we have a strong man in Baharampur. Adhir Chaudhary is the name. Um, he is from Congress. He is putting up a fight against the Trinamool, and there is another seat in Malda where there's a Congress guy. You know, it is a Abdul Ghani Khan Chaudhary, Barkat Ghani Khan Chaudhary fief. So that's a family bastion where the fight is between the Congress and the Trinamool. In all other 40 seats, I believe the fight is between the Trinamool and the BJP. So if had there been an alliance between the Congress and the left, there would have been some impact in 2 to 3 seats, but the overall situation that the fight between the Trinamool and the BJP would not have changed much. Now, in the national context, the fact that they are not able to join hands together, what impact will it have on national polity? I mean, that I think I still want to hold.
Some really interesting analysis.
At large scale, that 1:1.
Yeah, some really excellent analysis there from Devdeep, but I just want to take that point ahead to Moidul Islam. So Devdeep Purohit says the BJP is the primary opposition, and apart from 2 seats, it's a direct TMC versus BJP battle. What about the left? Are they pretty much decimated in the state?
Well, the left has been, there has been a steady decline of the left from 2009, actually. So it's like a 10 years decline. If you compare the vote shares, then the left got in 2009 something around 43%, and in 2011 they got 41%. In 2014 they got something a little over 29%, and in 2016 assembly elections, of course they were contesting 200 seats, but the rest was contested by the Congress party. They got something around a little over 25%. So it means that there has been a steady decline of nearly 20% votes of the left in the last 10 years. So I would be suggesting that yes, it's difficult for the left in many seats to actually avoid forfeiting deposit. They might actually forfeit deposit in a number of seats in West Bengal. And the interesting part is that the people are flocking to the BJP, at least the anti-Trinamool vote is flocking to the BJP, not because of any alternative programmatic agenda, also not because that the Trinamool has a massive charismatic leader like Modi at the ground level in Bengal, or somebody who could match up with the popularity of Mamata Banerjee, but more as a default opposition. Where those who are anti-Trinamool, they are no more believing that the Congress party or the left could actually fight the Trinamool. So it's more of a default option than a popularity of a charismatic BJP leader. BJP also has certain problems.
Yes, no, let me come to that. I just wanted to ask Devdeep, what are the issues people are talking about? Because you attended that Modi rally. We know the issues that the BJP is taking to the fore. They're talking about, speed breaker Didi, the hit at development. Modi also spoke about national security issues during one of his rallies, saying that, when Rawalpindi was upset, yahan Didi ko dukh hua, or something to that effect. Sarda chit fund scam. Are these the issues that are resonating with the people who are flocking to Modi's rallies?
It's a very difficult question, Tamanna. It's like, it's very difficult to answer which issues are taking people, So there are 1 lakh people, different people have different things in their mind. But what Moidul was telling, I think election those micro level issues, I do not know to what extent they play a role in taking people to rallies, say be it Modi or Mamta, they are all very charismatic leaders, and you will see, one of my colleagues was in Calcutta at the Brigade Parade grounds where also Modi spoke. So he was telling me, we were discussing the stories that we want to do this night. So he was telling me that Modi reached there. The moment Modi started talking, some people started leaving, And this guy is a new guy, so he was very surprised. I said that, I mean, having the experience of covering so many rallies in different parts of the country, I know that a major proportion of the crowd who turn up at these meetings are people who want to see Modi. I at the Siliguri rally, I can tell you this story. There was, I was sitting somewhere. There were a lot of women behind me, and some of them were saying that the prime minister is so cute. I mean, there was a girl. I mean, she must have been in her mid-20s. She was saying he's so cute. He's so handsome. He talks so well. So, I mean, so different people go with different agenda. Broadly speaking, the thing is that Trinamool came to power riding on sentiments against the left. Now, Trinamool is here for the 7-8 years. Mamata Banerjee may not agree, but the fact remains that anti-incumbency is kicking in. So people are trying to look for other options. So BJP, being a strong party, because they rule at the center, they are coming there as an option. So more and more people who are not happy with Mamata Banerjee, they are trying to find new options. So BJP has come as a new option. That explains the decay in the left's vote bank. That also explains the decay in the Congress vote bank. So issues are there that the leaders say in the meetings, but primarily what I think that people get attracted to charismatic leaders, they go, and then these leaders with their comments, they manufacture certain consents. They manufacture the issues, So
Yeah.
he talked about, probably everybody did not know much about what Mamata said after the surgical strike. But there Modi tried to convince people, no, Mamata's reaction was not right. So that's why you give me vote. So he was trying to manufacturing or creating a narrative on his behalf. Now, today both sides played well. They played to their strengths. They sent out their message, but the match remains draw as of now. And we will get to know the result or the rujhan, kidhar ja raha hai, after some time.
But isn't Mamata Banerjee playing on a different pitch? And let me come to Mohidul Islam with this question first. So I'll come to both of you. Because she keeps saying that I challenge you to a TV debate. It seems like there is an attempt to project herself as a national alternative, and you never know how the numbers stack up. There are 42 seats at play from West Bengal. She's been acceptable to most, including KCR, etc. So is that messaging very strong on the ground level, that vote for me, because this is not just for the state, you're voting for me at a national level as well?
Yeah, it's possible. And in fact, that's what Trinamool wants is a 1996 kind of situation. If you remember 96, Jyoti Basu was the West Bengal chief minister, and the Congress was completely short of majority. So was the BJP. So there was an alternative government, which is a United Front government with outside support from the Congress. Now, what Mamata Banerjee is precisely doing is emulating the Jyoti Basu kind of politics, which targeting BJP on the one hand, but at the same time do not get much closer to the Congress party. So it's a kind of policy of equidistance, but with the focused targeting of the BJP. So that's the number one thing. I also find that a lot of similarity between the 1980s Congress party and the BJP in the state of West Bengal. In the 1980s, if you remember, it was early days, 7-8 years of left front, particularly after 84, 85, where people were a bit of middle class were not very happy with the left. But the Congress party in the 1980s didn't have a very charismatic leader in the state, okay? Whereas in BJP also today, you can't find a massive popular leader in the state BJP. And like the Congress party of the 1980s, a lot of factional fights between different factions. And in the BJP today also, in the state of West Bengal, had many factions. So they had to actually rely on the central leadership, just like the Congress party was relying on the central leadership like Rajiv Gandhi and all. Similarly, here in West Bengal, they are basically relying on Modi, the central leadership, but not a not a very well-oiled local organizational strength of the BJP, not a very charismatic leader in the state who could match up to Mamata Banerjee's popularity. Remember, West Bengal had a history of long regimes. From 52 to 67, it was 15 years of Congress. Then there was a transitional period of 10 years, then a 34 years of left. And now the Mamata Banerjee seems to be very, very strong with her own organizational skills and delivery.
No, so let's put this in perspective. Let's put this in perspective. Both of you agree that the BJP is the #1 sort of challenge for Mamata Banerjee, but both of you also look at the TMC bagging 30+ seats. So it's a nascent challenge.
Yeah,
we can agree on that.
That's right.
Let me come to you, Devdeep, on the question of Mamata's projection of herself as a national leader and how that is working out.
I mean, having known Mamata for so many years, and I think that she harbors national ambition for quite some time, but the conditions were not conducive. Now, in the run-up to the 2019 polls, when it emerged, I'm talking about a scene 3-4 months back, it emerged that, the Congress is no longer that strong. Congress and, all other regional parties are there. And, look at the numbers, I mean, why Mamata has a national ambition. So out of 42 seats in Bengal, say if she gets around 35, 34, then there is a possibility of Mamata becoming the third or fourth, I think third largest party after the BJP and the Congress. If you see, because in UP, the other two contenders who can get very high
let's
number
not forget
of seats,
the DMK.
They are fighting.
Let's not forget the DMK. That's another strong bloc there.
So that's what.
DMK is not.
So that's why I'm telling you.
More than 30 seats.
Yeah. Oh. So so it either she will be third or she will be fourth. She also realizes that the arithmetic. I'm not going into the opinion poll results like Moidul, but the arithmetic.
Oh, we've lost that Skype from Siliguri. We'll try to get Devdeep back up again, where he was making those interesting points. Meanwhile, Moidul Islam, I want to ask you one question, which has been sort of, it's been a subliminal kind of messaging through these polls and in this BJP-TMC fight, where the TMC is often accused of minority appeasement. Do you think that that is something that the BJP is managing to push on? And all of the other conversation about speed breaker and development, etc., is there. But this is the underlying message that they're pushing. Is it resonating among people?
It's difficult to say because the minority appeasement was a steady campaign of the BJP in the 2014 to 16.
Yeah.
But 2016, after 2016, you see there has been a shift in the political articulation of the Trinamool Congress. 2016 onwards, for the first time in the history of the state, there was a Durga Puja carnival in the Red Road. Now, what does it mean? Basically, Mamata Banerjee is giving the signal that the Red Road is not for only Eid Namaz, but it is also for Durga Puja carnival. If you recall today's North Bengal rally of Mamata Banerjee, she was basically suggesting that, look, she doesn't appease any single community, but rather for her, all the communities, including the Hindu community, the Christians, and every other community, Chhat Pujas and all, she is for every religious community. So her kind of secularism, I would say, is an interesting model which neither follows a separation between religion and politics, nor a negation of any religious belief, rather a public display and celebration of all religious communities. Now, I think this is an interesting challenge which the BJP is not able to actually break through. Because, even when the BJP leaders comes to the state, particularly in the last few months, what we have seen a very peculiar politics of Trinamool, where the next day, the Trinamool local leaders and Trinamool booth level organizers, they will chant mantras and they will, do all this purification campaign by, throwing Ganga Jal. and with drums, beating drums and all, and they say that these BJP walas, they are from North India, and they basically are polluting our state, and we are basically purifying them, and they are doing by actually chanting Hindu mantras. So it's an interesting kind of religious overtone style populism that the Trinamool is able to carry forward.
Okay.
So, I don't think that whether.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. I have Devdeep up, and I want him to finish his point and also, round off his comments on the show today. You mentioned right in the beginning that there is quite some time between the key voting in West Bengal and where we're sitting today. It's going to be a long election. How do you see the push play out where, Mamata Banerjee can ensure that she's not stuck middling at 30, 34 seats? And you've said her bar is set high at 36. Below that, she'd consider it a disappointment.
Yeah, because a lot of things will happen because the Modi will be coming to Bengal repeatedly. In all the 7 phases, he will come ahead of the elections. And as BJP sources tell me that they have plans to hold another 9 rallies. So they will be, in total, Modi will be addressing 10 rallies till 19th of May. So, and you have to admit that Modi has an appeal, has a charisma, which we saw both in Siliguri as well as in Calcutta today. But Mamata Banerjee's politics is slightly different, I mean, say it is all about narrative, Tamanna. I mean, Modi, I think everything was meticulously planned, what Modi said. This national perspective, nationalism, jingoism, what Mamata said after the attacks. So that is how Modi is pitching, his campaign in Bengal. There has to be a slightly divisive way of, going about it, trying to woo the voter. Mamata's pitch is a bit different. She's in North Bengal, and she will go to all the places with different messages. Say in Kuch Bihar, where she was, and Alipurduar, she has started talking about the NRC. So, which is an issue because a lot of people from Bangladesh, they had migrated, they live here. So there is a fear. So she will make very localized issues. She will touch upon localized issues, and she will also hold a number of rallies. I think she will hold around 100+ rallies across the state, and small rallies, very intensive campaign that she will do. So that is how she would try to counter Modi's narrative. But finally, Tamanna, election Bengal, as it requires. So if BJP has to improve its tally, the most important thing is Modi's speeches will not be enough. The thing is, at the booth level, they have to have people so that those voters, those people who are BJP supporters, can actually go and cast their votes in favor of the BJP on the voting day. Yeah. So that organization, that organizational might, the BJP still doesn't have. They have in some areas in North Bengal and in some parts of South Bengal, which Moidul was explaining. But in other parts, BJP in Bengal has grown despite the state leadership. The state leadership, the less we talk about them is better. So Modi is sort of creating some excitement among the voters, but whether those voters actually go and cast their votes for BJP or not, still, it remains to be seen. So still some time and lot may happen.
All right, it's going to be an exciting battle over there. Two charismatic leaders who excel at, interesting campaign speeches, and the people of West Bengal are going to be treated or subjected to those speeches over the next few days, whichever way you see it. I want to thank Devdeep Purohit of The Telegraph and Moidul Islam, both of you, for joining us on the show today.